beautiful morning to you, and thanks for joining us on the breakfast show, Rapid Dawn. Definitely, Mata and Victor Ake will be back precisely at the top of the hour of 9 to continue the conversation for the week and also wrapping up the week, entering the weekend. Okay, I am Ijoma Victor, and here are the top stories that we are tracking at this time. Now, Kwara United have been handed a stadium ban, a 9 million naira fine, and a 3-point deduction by the Nigerian Premier Football League following crowd troubles that marred their rescheduled March Day 22 fixtures against Rivers United in Ilori on Wednesday. Now, the sanctions came after a chaotic scene erupted at the end of Wednesday's 1-0 draw at the Kwara State Stadium, where Rivers United scored a stoppage time equalizer through Boluwaji Sholumide. Now, in its official communication on Thursday, the league body said the Ilori club has breached its regulatory framework on multiple counts. It stated that the home side did not provide sufficient security arrangement, allowing unauthorized individuals, to gain access to restricted areas. Now, it also accused the club of failing to control its supporters, leading to harassment and assault on match officials and Rivers United officials. Now, some of whom sustained injury. Now, the league further confirmed that supporters entered restricted areas and physically assaulted officials, describing their actions as conduct that brought the game into disrepute. Now, as punishment, Kwara United were fined 2 million naira for inadequate security and 1 million naira for failing to control their supporters. An additional 2 million naira was imposed for assault on officials, 1 million naira for unsporting behavior, 1 million naira for holding match officials and Rivers United officials hostage after the match, and 2 million naira as compensation for medical treatment and damages. Now, the communications further outlined competitive penalties, stating that 3 points and 3 goals would be removed from Kwara United accumulated tally as punishment for the assault. Now, in addition, the clubs will now play their remaining home fixtures this season away from Ilori, which the MKO Abiola Sport Arena in Abeokuta designated as their temporary venue. Now, the league directed Kwara United to identify the supporters involved for arrest and prosecutions and granted the club 48 hours to appeal the sanctions. Now, the punishment has significantly worsened Kwara United's position on the table. Now, following the deduction, they have dropped to 19th place on 26 points from 26 matches with 12 games remaining. Now, the 8 remaining home fixtures, including ties against Wiki Tourists of Bauchi, Enugu Rangers, Nasarawa United, El Kanemi Warriors, Barao FC of Kano, and Eyimba FC of Aba, will now be played away from their traditional base in Ilori. Now, the disturbance followed a tense contest in Kwara. Okay, let's see how we can join a sport journalist in Port Harcourt, Calvin Eyo. Yes, will be joining us live from Port Harcourt this morning as we tend to look at Rivers United ever since they returned from Kwara State. Good morning to you, Kevin Eyo. It's good to have you on the show this morning via Zoom.
Yeah, good morning to you, Victor. Thank you for having me on your show this lovely morning.
Okay, thank you so much. The time was so short, but we just have to put the call across to you. Now, a sanction has been given to Kwara United. But first of all, we want to know how the team, Rivers United, the coaches, the officials, how they are presently doing ever since they left Kwara State.
Okay, normalcy has returned to the team. That's the pride of Rivers. The assessment, the injury of the GM, that's the Chief Oke Paloko, is also assessed, and the damages and all of this. And the players are also in stable conditions. the coaching crew, the management have also arrived their base, looking at all modalities as it stands now. I think that there is a bit cohesion. The team I think they are putting this behind them to face the next order of game, knowing full well that they have a task at hand, haven't been hosted out of the CAF Champions League group stage. So their primary focus now is to ensure that they get back to the summit of the Nigerian Premier League and, if possible, claim it at the end of the season.
Okay, now you made mention of putting those things behind them. Definitely, that's exactly what they will do, knowing fully well that they have a lot to do towards the end of the season. But now I want to ask you, why did it take Rivers United so long? They were so quiet after the incident, even when they returned back to Port Harcourt. We didn't hear any press statement. Even tried to get across to the media officer of the team, was also not going through. The club was so quiet, no official statement until the sanctions came from the NPFL. I want you to throw more light on this. Why were they really silent about this? Talking about Rivers United.
Well, the silence actually coming from the Rivers United, it's not something that everyone expected. Even journalists here in Port Harcourt were not actually pleased with that silence, because we understand that you, as a media officer, you're supposed to give detailed information that what happened in Ilore, so that the journalists over here can actually peep into what really transpired in Ilore. But that silence actually could be a management decision, because the game was being televised by Propel. The game was shown live, and other social media platforms has actually streamlined what has happened, which is very glaring to the league body to actually see what transpired. A goal scored late in the 90 minutes to bring the scoreline to a 1-1. It's not something that that the fans should take laws into their hand. This is one thing that we as media personnel will be advocating for. This sanction too, the league body should do well to review the laws governing the game, because deducting 3 points and also banishing the team from their traditional home ground to another home ground, it's not really something that we need to hold on to at the moment. Currently, we are demarketing the league. When we're looking for investors, we're looking for corporate body to come in and invest. And such shenanigans, such oligarchism in football is being played. When we all we're preaching about football being a unifying factor that cut across board, but this is not what we want to be saying. This is not the first time it's happening. Neither is the second time it's happening. I think the league body needs to come up with a stiffer punishment for erring teams and their fans.
Okay, you talked about the punishment now. It seems you are not really satisfied with the punishment. 9 million naira, 3 points deduction, 3 goals deduction also, and they will be banished to the stadium in Abeokuta. To me, yes, and if I want to throw your line, Abeokuta is too close. In as much as they are in the North Central, they should have been taken to the water side, probably at that Adokie and Messiamaka Stadium in Port Harcourt. Let them play their home ground there and see what it feels to practice such things. But meanwhile, Kwara United have issued a statement and distancing themselves from what happened in Ilori. Do you think that statement is welcomed?
Well, Kwara United acted smartly to ensure that the sanctions being melted on them would have been watered low. But the rule book says once the game has been brought into disrepute, you can never be away from the fines that the league body will impose on you. So they decided to play acceptance of what transpired, even though they are fully aware, because the fans itself lack the sensitization of ensuring that this is what is obtainable. I think Port Harcourt is one of the peaceful environment when it comes to football. Bayelsa United as well. Bayelsa has lost a game back-to-back, and we didn't see all of these. You go to Bendel Insurance, they've also lost game. You didn't see this. Eyimba too, they've lost game. You didn't see this. Just to mention few centers that football has taken place, and the home team have lost without any rancor, without any crisis, without any chaos. So looking at it, Abeokuta, like you said, is even close by to Ilore. So what would they have done? Banish them to even Sambisa Forest, let them go there and play, so that by the time we understand the dangers involved in this, we'll come back home to preach love, to preach that football is a unifying factor. That is why I'm calling on the league body to review their rule, to review the sanctions being meted on this club. Don't forget that even the 9 million fine that is being given to imposed on Kwara United, this money is not that is going to be paid immediately. The clubs, they know too well the statutory process of this, that at the end of the league, that is when the league body will now deduct whatsoever would have come to the club. But is that all what we want? No, we need a more stiffer punishment. We need a serious sanctions on this club, so that even the fans too, playing the game behind closed door, does it make any difference? It doesn't. It doesn't. But we want more to come in, so that at least we can be able to market the league. We can also have good investors. Imagine a team, a league as this, we don't even have players in the Super Eagles. And how do we boast of it? We don't even have other African countries coming for our own players. How do we boast of it? So there's need for we to take the time, get the round peg in the round hole, and review these laws for a better mileage of the league.
Okay, the way forward now, you've talked about reviewing of the law. Is it that the FAs from various states don't know how the sanctions come in? Because this same incident happened at the Mohamed Diko Stadium in Katsina. It also happened at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. Then I think we've also seen one in the southwest. Is it that the FAs are not taking charge of providing adequate security, apart from looking at the laws being adjusted?
Well, talking about security at the stadia, I think we need to look at a different mentalities of security. Because when you talked about home fans providing security, FA providing security, some of the stewards at the stadium are even diehard fans of those clubs. So when chaos like this is being perpetrated, they look away rather than providing quick response and ensuring that the safety of opponents are top notch. Now, looking at it, even the police that we have on ground, they are not even living up to the billing, because you just have a handful of them at the stadium. Imagine a stadium where you have 15,000 capacities, and at the end of the day, you are having a fans, maybe 5,000 that were able to come out to watch those games live. And the police on ground that you are having, maybe they're just 100 policemen on ground. Don't you think that the crowd will be able to overwhelm the services of the police? So we need to look at a different security architecture to safeguard our stadium during match day. Possibly, we have voluntary organizations who can be able to take part in football activities. Let the league body draft them in. At least they will be able to do one or two things, train them. We have so many securities architectures, but yet we are not getting the dividends of those securities when there are crises in our stadium. So we need to look at different structure to ensure that we safeguard our stadium, we safeguard our opponents that are coming to watch football.
Okay, now let's look at Rivers United remaining games ahead of climaxing the season. Yes, and all the outstanding games have been scheduled. One already played in Ilori, and they picked a point there. Are you seeing Rivers United returning back to the summit of the NPFL and Finidi George clinching the trophy once again, and at the same time returning back to the continent?
Well, I think the focus currently now for the Pride of Rivers is to ensure that they win the league and possibly return back to the continent, which is the CAF Champions League, through winning the league. And well, one thing that you see, the double standard of operations that we have here in the league, it's not something to write home. The same energy that we've seen in the league, that same energy would have been transferred into the continent when we played top teams here, Pyramid of Egypt, ROS Bekene, and we lost here in Yodo. It is not their ground. Imagine you traveling to Ilore to pick a point. Why not pick that point here in your home to cement? But good of a thing that they are in a good positions on the log, a different mentality. Hopefully that at the end of the season, if they eventually emerge champions of the Nigerian Premier League, they will be able to beef up this team ahead of the Continental League. So looking at it now, the remaining games has been rescheduled. Definitely Rivers United knows how to go about the league and they know how to pick those points.
Hopefully, by the end of the season, which I personally should be joining you at the Aduki America Stadium to celebrate Rivers United. But we just have to wait for all these games to go down. Now, finally, before I let you go, time is not my friend. We all know what's happening concerning the verdict from FIFA. I really want to throw that one to you this morning. The verdict was supposed to come out on Monday, as been speculated. But as we wait now, it is 5 days, 6 days. Still, everyone is still expecting FIFA to come up with a verdict. Now, I want to put you, Kelvin Ayo. Do you think Nigeria stands a chance of really getting to the playoffs that we go down next month?
Well, Nigerian chances is very slim, but the words coming from the Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federations, it shows that we have a case. But one thing for sure, judgment is not passed on emotion. Judgment is being passed on evidence and facts. And I think that is where the FIFA is taking much of time to review all of the facts that has been presented before them, the evidence presented before them, and they will look at both sides of the coin before taking that decision. I think at the end, the judgment can only be delayed, but that destiny can never be denied. That is one thing for sure. If Nigeria would definitely make it to the playoff, fine, good and fine. But one thing for sure, it's we fail to do the needful on the field of play rather than coming to the back door. So let's just wait for FIFA to do all their fact finding, look at the evidence, because I know there are stakeholders and learned people in FIFA who can be able to ascertain where DR Congo is wrong and where Nigeria is right to actually come up with that verdict. But until then, let's just hope and see how positive that verdict will send Nigeria to the playoff, or we'll come back to the drawing board and wait for the next World Cup qualifiers.
Okay, I think indeed we should just start working on the drawing boards now while we expect FIFA to do what they know how to do best. Thank you so much, Kevin Ayo, for your time this morning.
And just to add before you let me go, we are back to that same stage where we are dragging our foot on the coach retainancies and the rest. And you are also aware of the demands of Éric Chelle. And all of these, we need to put this behind us for we to make progress. And if we want the service of this coach, let's get it done now so that he can as well start recruiting the players that he needs to prosecute the World Cup qualifiers.
In as much as you really want to talk about Éric Chelle, do you think those demands, I know definitely they'll still have to go back to the negotiating table and they'll sit down, look at it. But from the AFCON and over a year in office as in charge of Super Eagles, does Éric Chelle truly need these adjustments in his contract and also his wages?
He has proven himself beyond reasonable doubt, and we saw the quality of football at the AFCON, how the players played for the nations, how they were united up front. But one thing for sure is the fact that we still need one or two players in the middle of the park there, ensuring that we create those chances. Wilfred Ndidi and Alex Iwobi, yes, they are not living up to that billing, but at least they've given their all when it comes to. So I think we still need to give him more time. Look at what his demands. Go back to the negotiation table and ensure that some of this demand that he has requested for, at least if not 100%, we can be able to fulfill 50, 60, 70% of those demands so that he can fit in very well and give in his best. He will not have any reason to say that it's because you people did not meet my demand. That is why I failed. So let's give him every necessary support for him to succeed and ensure that we qualify for the next AFCON, possible win that AFCON and also the World Cup.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin. I truly appreciate you for your time. It was very short and you were able to come through. Truly appreciate it. Hopefully next time we'll still call you because you'll be giving us updates with Rivers United and what's happening at the Aduki America Stadium in Port Harcourt. Thank you so much, Kevin. I truly appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you very much for having me on your show this morning. It's a pleasure doing this with you.
Okay, that was a sport journalist in Port Harcourt. He has to give us that update with what's happening with Rivers United. The chaos that happened in Ilori between Rivers United and Kwara United. It wasn't really a good one, but the fine, yes, that fine has finally been slammed on Kwara United. Hopefully 5 p.m. We'll discuss more on that and every other top stories that will be coming from the world of sport. And at the center, we'll be looking at the weekend. On the flip side of 9 a.m., it is Mata and Victor Ake. I am Ijoma. Victor, good morning.